Hello and welcome to Time Hack. I'm your host, the Minuteman, and today we're going to be discussing this right here, the Omega Speedmaster Professional. Alright guys, so thanks for checking out the channel and clicking on this video. If you wouldn't mind helping me out by liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing, let me know what you think about the channel. I know I've been offline for quite a while. I'm hoping to change that, but working 2 jobs and trying to do YouTube is very difficult. But I have a question for you guys. What is this watch? Now, chances are you probably already know this is an Omega Speedmaster Professional. I mean, you clicked on the video, you probably punched that into your search bar. But really, what is this watch? What does this watch mean? We know it's a chronograph. We know it's a fine Swiss mechanical timepiece. We know it's expensive. But what is it? What does this watch mean? Surely, for a lot of us, this is more than just a chronograph. Hopefully by the end of the video, people like my wife might understand why these things are so important to me and the rest of the community. Let's go ahead and dive right into this. All right guys, we're going to cover the dimensions and some other specifications for these watches that can help highlight some of the differences in these watches. For one, obviously, the Professional is larger than the Reduced or automatic lines. Specifically, we have a lug-to-lug, which is the measurement I'm most concerned with. We have a lug-to-lug of 47.3 millimeters on the Professional, which is at the outer limits of where I'm willing to be on a wristwatch. So I can wear the Professional just fine, and I enjoy it. But any larger, and it's probably not my thing. However, I'll wear things like a Lunar Pilot, which is huge compared to the Professional. Because at the end of the day, if I like the watch, I'm going to wear it. However, comfort-wise, this is the outer limits of what I would say is comfortable on my wrist. These 2 watches, on the other hand, are perfect for me. The Reduced come in at a 43.6 millimeter lug-to-lug. So, yeah, perfect right there. Another element of a comfortable wristwatch for me is the weight. It's one of the reasons why I love titanium watches. You can get a pretty large watch on a metal bracelet and it not be this giant counterbalance on your body as you're going throughout your day. So the weight on a Professional clocks in at 65 grams. This Reduced here came in at 50 grams. Difference of 15 grams. Now I took these measurements without the NATO straps on there, and the spring bars are still on, to give it the most even comparison. I don't have the bracelet for the professional. That's why I'm not displaying the reduced with its bracelet. And I would even say the professional is where, if we're talking bracelets, which I do like bracelets. If I will always opt to buy a watch with a bracelet before I buy it with anything else. The professional's bracelet is absolutely where it shines out above the reduced, in my opinion, because it's made far better. Now, grant you, the reduced is, a product of its time, whereas the professional still produced and they're innovating on it and answering customers' wants. The reduced has kind of a way cheaper stamped clasp that pops loose on me all the time. It was easier to size, unlike the professional, which is a nightmare. But the professional comes with that milled clasp, and that's class every day. Now, of course, you can go ahead and get yourself an aftermarket Uncle Seiko 18 millimeter bracelet for your reduced, which is something that is on my Christmas list, so hopefully that shows up. Let's quickly talk thicknesses. Some people are concerned about that. Some people think, there's a rumor that the automatic is thicker than the professional, and that's really just not the case. The professional clocks in at 14.5 thickness millimeters, and then your reduced will come in at 11.9 millimeters, and that's with this I think it's Dubois chronograph piggyback movement here. As we can kind of tell here, these pushers are not in a straight line with the crown, whereas on your professional it is, which could be a sticking point for some folks. I don't care. I think it looks fine to me. And then that is another bone of contention for people when it comes to the Speedy Pro versus reduced argument. They say that the reduced is more expensive to service, when in fact it's not, and I can throw up a bill for the servicing of this Speedmaster Reduced, which came out to be $899. And from the Omega forums, I'll see these being professional being quoted at about $150 through Omega. So you can have a price difference there of a couple, like $150, maybe $200 at most. And when we're talking about thousands of dollar watches here, $5 to $3, $4 in some cases for these watches, what's $200 difference in the service? Look, you can't talk about being financially frugal here if you have a luxury Swiss watch. We all know that at some point you broke down and you were not shrewd anymore and you bought one. Okay, so why wouldn't I just sell my Omega Seamaster GMT? Why wouldn't I sell my yellow Schumacher Speedy or my Reduced? I mean, altogether, surely I would have enough to buy a brand new Omega Speedmaster Professional. And the answer comes down to the point of this hobby. These are watches that are supposed to mean something to you and have a story for you and make you feel a certain way. At the end of the day, this is about you and your watch, not you and everyone else's watches. You shouldn't be pursuing watches because, it's the best and so has it, and everyone else has got the Rolex that you need to have made it. Now, if that is what you want, great. Let's say you want to get a Rolex because your granddad never could afford one, but always wished that he'd made it to a point where he could, you can kind of, in a way, do that for him in a roundabout way. Hey, I made it. I'm gonna celebrate this with this Rolex. Let's go run through some examples here, like my This is my Seiko Grey Ghost Starfish Kinetic watch. It's a super great value. You can have these $150 to $200, all titanium. It's got a quirky, cool movement in it. You got quartz accuracy, and then this is back when Seiko was packing quality for next to no money into their watches. This is my birth year watch. When I look at it, I see a watch that's aging with me, so that's kind of cool. Outside of just how awesome this watch is as far as value proposition, that gets me fired up. This wonderful piece of kit. Speaking of kit, this is a recent acquisition, gift from my father for on my commissioning as a second lieutenant. Whenever I'm put in a position where I lack self-confidence, I can just think of the confidence he has in me. This will always tie me back to OCS and the talks with my dad about prepping for OCS and how he was never worried about whether or not I had it, what it took to get through that. So that's what that watch means to me. Or something simple like this Hamilton. This is a retro-inspired field watch to, it's modeled after the ones issued in Vietnam. I wear this to think about yesteryear's soldier, and I like to think about the struggles they went through and their commitment, and how I always feel like the soldiers who came before served in the worst possible times, that I have it the easiest now. So, whatever situation that I might come across, look, it's not as bad as it was back in the day. And all of this is a roundabout way of just saying, hey, enjoy your watch. And so, to finally cut to the chase, why I would choose this Reduced over a Speedy Pro, even though I have the means to acquire one, is that this is my watch. This is my trophy. I was blessed with the opportunity to knock out school. I stayed committed and got my degree. And then, took upon myself to enlist in the National Guard and pursue the Guard really helped me out when it comes to connections. And because of the Guard, I got my civilian job, and the civilian job gave me the means to acquire something like this. So when I look at this watch, I think of how fortunate I am, how blessed I am. It reminds me that I need to continue to be financially smart so that I can have something like this and not have to sell it. And I look at it and think I need to continue to improve myself so that I can continue down this path in life, so that one day my family can have the same privileges and luxuries that I have. Whatever your watch is that you're lusting after, that you're going for, I hope that it's something that means something to you. I hope that it takes you away to different places in your mind. I hope that it frees you up from where you are now. I hope that it keeps you motivated. Yeah, guys, I know it's a long-winded way of just saying, like what you like. So, with that being said, always ready, always there, Minuteman.